Hello, my YouTube friends. Welcome back. I am Mindy, and today I want to talk about ENFPs again and the issue that ENFPs have often of not being able of stepping out of toxic relationships. How to let go of toxic people as ENFPs. That is actually what I'm going to be talking about today. I know many of you ENFPs, I've been reading you throughout my comments on my channel. Some of you reach out to me and I see it's a common theme and something that me as an ENFP have also gone through. And I think I have so much to say about this video. So I'm glad that I'm going to do this now. But first, and most importantly for now, please like this video and subscribe. And also, if you enjoy my content, always please share on your social media. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook as mindimalist, same account than here. You can find it on the link below. And I'm gonna dive in right now. Okay, ENFPs have a problem with letting go of toxic people. ENFPs are very forgiving by nature and are overly optimistic about people's intentions. I think in general, ENFPs are overly optimistic just in general because that's who we are. We are just pure NE, and we always, through our NE extroverted intuition, we always can see of many different ways, possibilities, and how this person can become a better human being, whether they have the potential or not. So we let our intuition, in that case, that it's not real like a gut feeling. No way. It's another sort of intuition. It's like more of this mental ideas and brainstorming thing. We let that intuition take control and do and kind of harm us in that way. This is one issue that actually ENFPs have and other NE users. And I mean, I'm not going to talk bad about extroverted intuition because we are also great at using extroverted intuition when we are not under these situations of people who is misbehaving, mistreating us. So extroverted intuition on the positive side of the spectrum can help us that when we are in front of a person where we're not that emotionally connected or invested, we can easily and soon we can read that person and we know where that person is coming from. We know like their intentions, we know, and we can just walk away of someone at the beginning. But if this person seems to be a nice and good one, can be of any relationship, can be a romantic relationship, can be a boss, can be a parent. So someone that displayed at the beginning or early on a lot of positive traits, and it seemed genuine, and maybe that person was not faking it, but it was real. So we believe them, and after we pass that first barrier, let's call it that way, that's that first image, and the person then starts to showing other traits that are more negative, it's like ENFPs go blinded and they do not see beyond it. We let our feelings guide us, and that's the moment when we don't have that much access to the third and the fourth function, that's extroverted thinking, introverted sensing. So we're just pure navigating those relationships from, let's talk about emotional relationships, like relationships of romantic nature. We navigate those relationships then with any positively believing that people is the best and they're going to change and this is not who they are, and all of those negations of things because we already saw the positive and we just got stuck there. And our introverted feeling that by then is a bit messed up, and we're not really listening to ourselves in that sense, but we're like so in tune with the other person that we just give it all. Somehow it's just weird because it sounds more like an FE, an extroverted feeling kind of way of behaving, but in that sense, under these conditions, that's the way that introverted feeling is being used. So we prefer to blame ourselves instead of before we blame the other person. That's another negative things that ENFP would do during those toxic relationships. Even if the other person is showing these negative traits and are being abusive in one way or another, no matter what it is, the ENFP tends to always find like what they did wrong, and they again use NE also to brainstorm and to imagine and to connect the dots and to make themselves the guilty one, the bad boy, the bad guy. So that's another thing that ENFP has to be very aware of. And I'm making this video because I really want to help ENFPs to be more aware that this is what they tend to do by nature. So be aware of this and start like creating boundaries so you can protect yourself and you don't fall into this kind of toxic relationships, as the subject of this video already mentions this. So one important thing I think like will help you, so let's go with the solution on how we can navigate these problematic dynamics that we can have with people, and how can we step out of that relationship. So we need to listen to our intuition. And when I say our intuition, again, it's not about mental, because this is what happens with the ENFP in those moments with oh, the sun is shining on my face now. This is what happens with these moments when the ENFP already made up their mind that this person is a good one and they're going to change and that whatever, is that they use the extroverted intuition, to brainstorm, and they decided kind of logically, using like what their feelings were, like it was not their gut feeling, really. It was like what they were reading in the other person, literally, that gave them a feeling. So they decided, practically, they decided that this is a good person. And so after that, the ENFP has blocks their own intuition. And so what is it I'm talking about? Okay, let's put an example of how this would play out. Let's say that you are in a romantic relationship, no matter if you're a man or a woman, and no matter if you're in a relationship with a man or with a woman, and this person has, early on in the relationship, has shown you some abusive behavior. I don't know, of any nature, could be. Let's say they showed some narcissistic traits to you, and you felt something when that was being shown. Let's say that the person did not talk to you at all and walked away from you and kind of treated you as if, like, with the cold, with the ice kind of treatment. They went just silent and cold, and this time, and they blamed you for whatever is that happened, when you feel that it was not true and that they were just turning everything around. They're not in tune with what you're feeling. They're just looking at themselves. So you feel that there's something wrong there. And something tells you for microseconds sometimes that this person is playing you a mind game, and you don't listen to it. And you decide to go with what your mind says. But that other feeling, it's about a feeling. You felt somewhere in your body that this person was being an asshole, but you ignored it, okay? So then you go and you mentally use your intuition with your extroverted thinking to mentally connect the dots that before this person behaved this way, before they were doing this, they were doing that, therefore, extroverted thinking, therefore they're good people. And you want to hold into that image that you had of them, and you ignore that gut feeling that's telling you something else. That is what you do not have to do. I mean, once you have that intuition inside of your kind of body, something extra telling you this could be a flag, a red flag, I would advise highly that you go and talk about it with other people, with someone that you have with your trust in your family, or a friend, or a therapist. Do not let it go. If you know from now on, if you're committed to stop having this kind of toxic relationships, do not go thinking that you can solve it yourself in your own head, because If you look behind you and you look at your past and you see that you have this pattern of always having have this kind of relationships, most likely you will not be able to detect it whenever it happens again. So go and talk with a person who is like a more objective person, who can help you to see if what you're seeing is right or wrong, or who can help you to observe things in a more objective way if you can not do it by yourself. Now, if you are seeing a pattern that's being repeated, that the same kind of behavior is happening on and on and on, do not let, again, yourself be doomed by what you think the person is because of what they showed you early on, because the ENFP tends to hold on to the past. I think it's our introverted sensing, that is our last function. So we tend to really hold on to the past, and we're there, and even though it is over, and even though there is violence, and in the worst case scenarios, right, even though all of these things happen, the ENFP tends to still believe like, no, this is good. This person has the best intentions, and we hold on to what we saw that they showed us in the beginning. So another one is, do not be afraid of letting go of a person if you are being mistreated. We tend to put the other person as like above us. So once ENFPs are very loving people, ENFP, once they love someone, they really love them, and they really give all of themselves and all of their hearts. They pour themselves onto that relationship. And what happens is that when we have to walk away because we notice that the relationship has turned toxic, that this person is not respecting us, that this person is not giving us any positive in our lives, but mostly negative, and we know consciously, okay, I have to walk away, the ENFP many times cannot do it because they still, like, as I said in the beginning, they still believe the best of this person. But the ENFP needs to learn to put themselves as a priority and to let go. And what happens when you let go of a person? When you let go of a person, this is just like a tip on how you can see it if you're in this situation right now. When you let go of the person, what happens is that you're giving yourself and that person also time and space for them to show you if what happens was real or not. And I know that you might be scared by now. What if I let go of that person and that person is the real love of my life? Trust me, if that person is the real love of your life and you walked away after this person was displaying this kind of negative and disrespectful behavior towards you, then this person should come back to you and apologize and make up their actions and behave differently than what they were doing before. So walking away from a situation that is highly toxic for you and where you are not being respected is going to be actually a good way for you to see with who you are, with who is this person. And if you're in a very abusive emotional relationship, possibly this person is going to turn the whole situation, even when you walk away, to say that it was your fault. And you can also notice that this person is really not someone that you want to be with, because if someone comes to you after they hurt you, and let's say you also have a part in it, fine, but they do not see that they did anything themselves as well, I assure you, you did better off walking away from that relationship. So do not be afraid of letting go, because really walking away will show you if that person never comes back to you, for instance, or if the person comes back to you only to hurt you more or only to point you out, or if the person comes back to say, hey, I am really sorry, and that makes them kind of realize what their loss is and what they've done. Do not be afraid to walk off. And most importantly than everything else is to choose for yourself and to make yourself a priority. And even more, if you're watching this video, you're more likely stuck here because you either are afraid that you sometimes go through this kind of toxic relationships as an ENFP, or you are going through one, or you've gone through one in the past. chances are that, yeah, you tend to fall into this kind of feelings of putting the other person that you're going with like in a pedestal, and you have to start like taking care of yourself and make yourself a priority before another person, because only then you can be healthy and fulfilled, and you can help other people, and you can have a good relationship with another person. So you need to take care of yourself, and you need to also show the world how to treat you well. So that's another thing. Okay, so I'm leaving this here for now. If you're watching up until now, amazing that you're here. If you need help with coaching and mentorship for these kind of issues, or any other issues that you might have about not only self-respect, or you have doubts about MBTI and you want to learn more about yourself and your personality, you want to also work on some certain issues that you have, or simply you want to understand what's your purpose and your calling, what are you good at, all of the subjects, send me an email. You have my details below also. And for now, see you next time.